I'm Hugh Hewitt. I've spent most of today and all of yesterday talking about what my next guest might want to ask tomorrow night. Bret Baier, of course, will be hosting tomorrow night's Fox News debate, along with Martha McCallum, with 8 Republicans, Asa Hutchinson having qualified yesterday. Bret, we have a saying around here, everybody's a producer. And I'm sure you've gotten more advice than you could possibly ever want or hear. What's it like the last day before a debate? Is it everybody wants to call your first play?
100%. I've done a bunch of radio interviews from around the country, and I say good morning, and then they say, okay, here's what I think your first question is. And then they go through it. So, I think I take all of the suggestions. We've been working on it for a while, and actually the last day is to kind of fine-tune and say, what are we not getting to? What are we short-shrifting? And looking at the flow of the debate overall. That's what it is.
I'm not going to do that because I've been there and done that. And Dwayne and I laugh all the time when we get emails on how to do our show. You've done how many debates, Bret? About 20?
9.
9? Okay. But that doesn't include your Senate forums at the Kennedy Library.
Right. No, I'm talking GOP debates.
Yeah, I would gather the number of times that you've had people who have contrary points of view opposite of each other. Maybe it's 30. I don't know.
It might be up there.
Yeah. So I don't think you need any advice. I am curious about the rule set, though, because I'm not clear on it. What are the rules tomorrow night?
So the rules are that you get 60 seconds for an answer. If someone is mentioned, they get 30 seconds rebuttal. There will be times where we have like a lightning round question. We're heading to the end of a block, and we ask for, a shorter answer and put stipulations on that. Other than that, we're just trying to keep them in the guardrails, equal time as much as we can. 8 candidates on the stage, and that was settled last night. And there will be interaction back and forth. I mean, we're set up to do that, and we'll just have to monitor, time and being equitable when that happens.
I regret that President Trump has declined the invitation, and I think he has made a mistake announcing he's not going to do any debates. I don't think you can blockade the debates and win. I don't know if you have an opinion on that, Bret. Do you?
I do. I think he has to do a debate. I think it's fair when these other candidates say it's not a coronation, it's an election. And, I do think that, he skipped the 2016 Iowa debate with us, and he ended up losing the Iowa caucuses. I'm not saying there's a direct connection, but people do like to see engagement. He's very good at it, and I assume he's going to eventually do one debate.
Bret Baier, there's a story this morning that he has agreed to turn himself in Atlanta on Thursday. Do you think he plans this? Because that would be the worst counter-programming ever if that's voluntary.
I think there has to be some planning, Hugh. I mean, I think it is about sucking the oxygen out of the room for anybody who had a big night on Wednesday, making the rounds on Thursday. I do think that they're calculated like that. It's not a great counter-programming thing, but I do think it is calculated. I do want to say one other thing about there's all these stories out there about surrogates, Trump surrogates, and how they're not being allowed into the debate. That's not the case at all. It's if they get invited to the debate, first of all, the RNC handles all the tickets. If they are an elected official, they get a ticket no matter what. If they are a surrogate and they get invited, they get to go. As far as in the spin room, it is the candidates on the stage and their delegates. And then if any media organization who's in the spin room invites one of these surrogates, a Trump surrogate, they are welcome to come. But they have to get the invite from the media person in the room. Fox may be one of those media organizations. I don't know if Sean is inviting any of these Trump surrogates, but there's these stories out there that we're blocking them, and it's not true. And I just wanted to set the record straight.
I'm glad to know that. I wonder if the audience is going to be significantly diminished by the absence of president. I don't think it will, by the way. I think the audience is going to be enormous, and I do not believe people have a way of evading this debate. And so I just go back to the Thursday arraignment. To me, I'm going to have a bingo card, which is tomorrow the president is turning himself in for the fourth time to be arraigned on bail. Tomorrow. I just find that astonishing, Brett. Did you talk to anyone about that? About whether or not it's a choice on their part or a demand by Atlanta?
Yeah, I'll try to. Oh, it's definitely not a demand by Atlanta because they have until Friday, and by the judge. And I think that they were giving some leeway even beyond that from Atlanta, from what we've been told. So it is a choice of when to do it, and I'm going to try to find out whether they think that this is a counter-programming operation. But I think it is, or at least a choice to do that.
Brett, talk to us about the day before. I know what we did 8 years ago, but things have changed and the world is different. How are you spending the day before what may be a pivotal moment? It definitely is a pivotal moment. It might pivot again, but how do you spend 24 hours before a debate or 36 hours preparing?
Yeah, so I do a lot of media ahead of the debate, so I'll be doing radio and some TV shots, but we do set aside 3 hours during this day. We go through everything that we've kind of already gone through and polish it a little bit more. And some of those tweaks are significant. Sometimes it's like it just doesn't feel right there. And I work really well with Martha and the team, and it's a very collaborative effort. So, and if there's some breaking news event that is either today or this week, maybe we reconsider some other question. And we'll have a similar session like that tomorrow. I'll do my show, Special Report, and then we'll get together for dinner and talk about.
Now, Governor Hutchinson got jammed in there last night, and you mentioned the time thing. So this is my last question. In the CNN Salem debates of 2016, there was a guardrail that no candidate could have less than 50% than the most amount of time that the most candidate can. And it was always Trump had the most, 20 minutes. That meant that, say, Carly Fiorina only got 10 minutes. Boy, she was mad at that ratio. Does Fox have a set ratio of 2-to-1?
No, it's not a set ratio, but we've always exceeded that. We've done these time and time again, and even the last person is only a few minutes off. They're really good about bouncing around, and if we're low on questions, we get those people in. I think Asa Hutchinson has some interesting things to add to the discussion. Obviously, he's a former governor of Arkansas, former DHS and Justice Department. I mean, he's got a long history, and he'll factor into some of the conversations.
Okay, so you and Martha are the quarterbacks. You come under center. You've got a play called. Someone talks in your ear. Can you disregard that if they say, oh, we're down on time with Asa, you got to give them one? Or do you have to live within the earpiece, not the substance, but the time?
Yeah, there's a battle. If you're in the heat of the moment, you're making a decision, you're the quarterback. So they can talk in your ear, but you've got the ball.
All right. I just wanted to know that because that was, in fact, something I learned the hard way because you don't have to do what they say. Bret Baier, hey, good luck. I'm sure it'll be a terrific debate tomorrow night. And if you get 50,000 suggestions today, the ones you ought to listen to are Mike Gallagher's, which I just taped, and I'll put the podcast up. Thank you, Bret.
All right. See you.